So as the Trump administration moves to end diversity, equity, and inclusion in the federal government, it risks instead removing the stories of some of the greatest Americans in history. Yesterday, an article highlighting the military service of Baseball Hall of Famer Jackie Robinson was removed from the Department of Defense website. The error page that displayed in place included DEI in the web address, indicating that the page was removed as part of the administration's crackdown. The page was later restored yesterday afternoon after a public outcry. Robinson isn't the first military hero to be removed from government websites over DEI. The Pentagon removed a web page celebrating the image of Private First Class Ira Hayes, a Pima Indian who is one of 6 Marines photographed raising an American flag on Iwo Jima in 1945. Pages celebrating the Navajo Code Talkers, the Enola Gay aircraft that dropped an atomic bomb on Japan in World War II were also erased. Some, but not all, of the pages that were taken down have since been restored.
So was the Enola Gay thing taken down because the word gay was in it?
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yes. There's a belief that the Doge folks have set up like a search program.
Yeah.
It's scraping data, and it came across the word gay and flagged that, thinking it meant homosexuality rather than the aircraft.
And also, I read yesterday a report that they had taken down like Holocaust, something like about the Holocaust.
That one I didn't see, but there's been a number here. And I will say, even as they restored, the Jackie Robinson story really broke through yesterday morning. Right. We talked about it here. Other places did as well. But even the Pentagon press secretary, who was answering questions about this, though, did still made sure to attack DEI programs in the response, sort of saying that's still not what we believe in. Jackie Robinson simply being honored for his, for his heroic work, but still suggesting, and the Tuskegee Airmen, another one. Obviously, what makes them unique is their race is partially why their story is so inspiring. And at least right now, the Pentagon, the DoD official policy is no, that's not it.
Well, when Charles Rogers, a Vietnam Medal of Honor winner, they taken down. We saw Arlington National Cemetery had all of a sudden over the weekend the blacks that were in the cemetery that came off the webpage. I think that this whole anti-DEI thing that they have now made look like it's just blacks, white women, LGBTQ, disabled, all have benefited from this. And the fact that they've had this big sweep of all of any diversity is really robbing this country of a lot of its story. Jackie Robinson not only was the first person of color, black, to play Major League Baseball, 13 years before Rosa Parks refused to ride in a segregated bus. Jackie Robinson did that in the military. Yeah. And I remember as a kid, I was maybe 13, my mother, Jesse Jackson, who I was youth director of his New York branch, brought my mother and I to his home in Stamford for a Daytop Village fundraiser. My mother felt that she was in the presence of somebody immortal. That's who Jackie Robinson was. To take him down in the name of DEI, he didn't get where he got because they had some kind of diversity program. He merited that. And it's the most racist thing in the world to act like these people who put their lives on the line in the military only got there because somebody did something extra for them. No, they earned it.
So, Jackie Robinson is a first ballot American hero.
That's
right.
Yeah.
Right. Story.
And the thing is it's like Jackie Robinson's story is inspiring to black Americans. Jackie Robinson's story is inspiring to white Americans, to Hispanic Americans, the Tuskegee Airmen. The thing is, you take a group of people who are treated as second, third-class citizens, and you see what they do when the war comes, and they rise up against all odds and do great things. That is a universal story and a message. There's a reason why, like, I teared up and a lot of people teared up, watching the Jackie Robinson story. And there's a reason why people are so inspired. People of all races go. Our friend John Ridley had a story about the Tuskegee Airmen. Yeah. People, it wasn't just black people watching that story. You watch the story because your kid sees it and you say, look, there are people that faced insurmountable odds. They were treated as second-class, third-class citizens in their own country. They still went and they fought for the country they loved, and they rose above. That's an unbelievable message for anybody of any race.
And you know what's so inspiring about it is because Americans understand, if you know anything about American history, you understand you weren't given something extra. You had to be twice, 3 times as good as everybody else.
Right.
And that's kind of the irony here. And that is why these stories, these American heroes, are so dangerous to the ideology of white supremacy, of Donald Trump, of Trumpism, and of people like Pete Hegseth. I mean, it's dangerous because they are attacking not only DEI programs. I'm really frustrated with the use of DEI in general. I think we should be really specific about language. When you say DEI, Americans think about the programs in the companies that they work for that can be frustrating or annoying to kind of have training on diversity. What we're actually talking about is a White House that is attacking multiracial democracy, that is attacking pluralism, black people, LGBTQ people, people with disabilities, poor people. That's actually what we're talking about here. So we need to separate that. And of course, symbolism does matter, but it's not just symbolism that's under attack right now. And one example, which I'm extremely disturbed about, is the executive order overturning decades of a requirement from the federal government that federal contractors abide by equal opportunity when they get government contracts.
And they have to put in the contract they will not practice segregation.
Right.
They told them to remove that.
Right.
This is
So they're saying now that they can
take segregation out. They must take segregation out. This is what they say. But the question,
taking the ban on segregation.
The ban out of the contract.
So segregation's okay now.
Well,
you don't have to commit that you will not engage in segregation.
Right. These government contractors still have to abide by the Civil Rights Act. But what I believe is that the White House's decision to remove that requirement is a clear signal that they have no intention to enforce the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
You know, there's a CNN report yesterday that they also, Doge, I don't know if it's Doge or who it was, but I mean, and by the way, I'm seeing these people say, oh, they're so efficient, they're so extraordinary, they're using multi-layered. I actually made a mistake of going on Instagram for 5 minutes yesterday, and somebody that I know, oh, Doge is using multi-layered facets of to scrape through it. It's going to reveal that, you know, all this corruption because it's so ruthlessly efficient. It's just the opposite. CNN report yesterday, they took down websites like on Holocaust remembrance, September 11th, suicide prevention for our vets. Again, what's with the war on vets? Sexual assault, something that Joni Ernst used to be concerned about in the military. She claimed to be, and then some people got upset at her because she wanted to raise questions about that with Pete Hegseth. And so I hope that she's still there. I mean, this is like something. This is a page. It would be great for Joni Ernst to say, hey, you know what? We probably need to get the pages up on ending sexual assault and suicide prevention and other vets, people who care about the vets, because there's a war on vets right now in Doge. If you look at what they've done to the VA, if you look at all the firing of the vets at the Pentagon, in other areas, it's really deeply concerning for our vets.
Deeply concerning. President Trump claims to be a champion of the veterans, but yet this is what his administration is doing. And Peter Baker, we should also note, reflecting back on these, you know, what the DOD is doing, wiping away portions of history to Jackie Robinson, Tuskegee Airmen, and the like. Donald Trump once actually made an impassioned argument about how we need to learn from history, preserve relics of the past. He, of course, was talking about Confederate statues. So that hypocrisy on full display as well.
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about that, too. Not just that, but the names of Army bases, right? We were going to, you know, he was outraged that they're taking the names of Confederate generals off of U.S. Army bases. So he says we can't, you know, wipe out history, except, of course, when we don't want to have the history out there. So it's a selective amount of history. Confederate generals are okay. Jackie Robinson not. That's the message that they're sending. Either you're for history or not for history, or you're at least for history in which you pick, heroes and villains and make. You're making your choices. You're making your choices clear who you consider to be heroes and who you consider to be villains in some of these actions. Doesn't seem to be a problem for them. But look, this is not unusual. Trump has it both ways all the time. We were just talking about judges the other day, right? We were talking about judges a few minutes ago, actually. And he's talking about how outrageous it is that judges are doing the things he's doing to him. But then last week he said it should be illegal to criticize judges when he's talking about the judge who ruled in his favor in the classified documents case, Judge Eileen Cannon. It should be illegal, and the Democrats and the media are going after the judges. It's outrageous that they're going after judges literally days before he, in fact, goes after judges and talks about impeaching them. So, it's just this is where we are. It's all centered on one person and one person's, view of the world, right? Win or lose, it's all about Donald Trump.
Well, and like I said, for people who have been champions for a long time, it should be honored for that, like Joni Ernst, sexual assault in the military. It would be great to hear her speak out saying, hey, we need to put that page back up. Other vets who serve in the United States Congress who are Republicans, who are concerned about suicide among our vets. And the numbers are just horrifying. It'd be great to hear them step up, speak out, say, put the page back up. I don't even know where to start with Holocaust remembrance and September 11th. I have no idea.
It's erasing history.
Yeah.
And that is something that actually in the first administration, someone very close to the president told me that history doesn't matter. We need to create our own.